Sig P365 versus Smith and Wesson CSX versus Ruger Max-9. Which would you choose and why? It's not becoming when I flinch on my own video. Which would you choose and why? Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Cranky Gun Reviews. I'm out here at the range today trying to finish up a couple of videos. I've gotten 5 or 6 ticks on me while I'm out here and I'm sweating my butt off. It is really hot. It's about 84 degrees and about 102.579% humidity. My clothes are drenched in sweat, so when I get home, I'm going to have to take a shower. But what I'm doing out here today is side-by-side comparison of the Sig P365, the Smith and Wesson CSX 9mm, and the Ruger Max-9 9mm. Now, why did I pick these three handguns? Well, they're all compact or subcompact 9mm. They all have either a 10 or a 12 or a 13 round capacity, depending on where you live. They're all similar size, similar, carry options, different function between the three of them as far as how the striker or hammers and things like that go. But I think these represent three really good carry options that people would be looking at. And what I'm doing out here today is just a quick reliability test. It's not, conclusive in any way, shape, or form other than what I think of the three of them because I'm doing the testing. I don't have a lot of ammo out here. I have some Federal Champion 115 grain, very little American Eagle 147 grain, and some New Republic 115 grain, which has been my range ammo lately because guess what? It's really cheap. So starting off with the Sig P365, I think this is a lot of people's first choice for a concealed carry handgun because it's a good weight, it's a good size, and typically Sig has a really good quality and reputation. So I'm going to put 3 magazines through the Sig P365, then I'll put 3 through the CSX and 3 through the Max-9, and then I'll give my opinion of the three of them as far as recoil, reliability, and how the triggers are. Now I've already shot all three of these separately, so I kind of know what the idea is going to be, but shooting them side by side often gives you a different perspective on things. So starting off with the P365. So, out of the gate, feels pretty good. The recoil is not too bad. I mean, if you can't handle 9mm recoil, get a 380. Don't complain about 9mm recoil. I don't think the recoil is too bad on this. The impulse is good. The trigger on this thing is fantastic. It has a nice reset on it. This actually has the factory frame on it. I have another frame for this that it came with. I forget what brand it is. But I put the factory one back on because I like this one. It's slim, it's small, it has good stippling on it. So I like this one. Shoots really well. Let's go to the CSX next. This one's hammer fired, has a totally different type of trigger on it, and it's a little bit fatter of a frame, has similar stippling on it. Sights are very different as well, so let's see what I think of this one. Now I pulled that last shot I've shot this quite a bit. I've probably put 500 rounds through it, maybe 600 rounds through it since I bought this thing. The trigger always surprises me. Flat face trigger with a blade safety on it. The beaver tail on this one, for some reason, tends to bite my hand more. I've actually gotten slide bite from this one. I don't know why, if it's just it's not quite as deep, or it has a different angle than the other ones does, but this particular one, it feels pretty good. The stippling on the frame is just about perfect. I actually think it might be a little bit too grippy because when I carry this, it tends to grab my cover garment, but it's reliable and it's very accurate. I've proved that in other videos. I really like this gun. If it was between the 365 and the CSX, honestly, I would probably pick the 365. It's a little bit narrower in this direction, and again, you can change the back strap on this and put a thinner one on if you want, which maybe I should do to get a better comparison. It may actually give me a better purchase on it, but I bought this one used. I don't remember if this one came with the interchangeable back straps or not. I'll have to look because I bought it used. I don't remember if I got the box with it, but I like it. It's reliable, has a good trigger. I think the P365 feels a little bit better. Now let's go to the Ruger Max-9, which I've done considerable amount of shooting with this gun. So let's see how it compares to these two. Now the Max-9 feels really good in the hand. This one has a bladed safety, the standard Ruger triggers. If I was to pick between the two of these, it would be a hard toss-up. Honestly, I think the P365 does have a better trigger because you don't have that safety you have to overcome. The trigger on this one feels a little bit better. The frame sizes are almost exactly identical. The beaver tails are almost identical. I think the P365 has a lesser recoil impulse. Maybe the slide on the Max-9 is a little bit chunkier, I don't know. But the Max-9 is optics ready, and I do have a ready dot for this one. That's a huge B.
That's a huge B.
I do have a ready dot for this one, which I take on and off randomly because I'm not exceptional with it, and I still haven't gotten a holster that works with that. But, out of the three of these, P365 is the most expensive. There's a reason for that. This gun shoots really well, exceptionally reliable. The CSX, I want to like it more than I do. I mean, I've shot this thing a bunch. It's ultra reliable. It's great. The sights on it are good. And I've said it before in other videos, it's almost boringly reliable. Like, it never fails, which is exactly what you want in a handgun. But ergonomically, it just tends to bite my hand a little bit more. Maybe I just need to get used to it some more. And the Max-9 is a great value. So, I mean, out of the three of these, the Max-9 is going to be the cheapest. Very reliable, very accurate. CSX is kind of in the middle on the price range. I think these are around 500 bucks. I think I paid $475 for mine used, and it had been shot like one time. So good value. And then the P365, you can get them used for around $450 to $500. New, I think they're around 500 or 569, something like that, when you can find them. Very popular, very good gun. I don't know, it's a toss-up between the three of them. I could pick any one of them, and if I had to choose between one of the three, if money was no option, I'd probably buy the Sig. If money was an option, I would probably go with the Ruger. And that's just my honest opinion. You can have your own opinion. I've said it many times before. You need to get out to the range and try out different handguns, feel what fits your hand, what has the recoil impulse you want, what allows you to rack the slide to whatever you need, how easy it is to load the magazines. That has an effect on it for a lot of people. But again, for me, out of these three, I would probably pick the Ruger Max-9 or the P365 before the CSX. But if this was all I had, I'd be happy with it. It shoots great. It's reliable. It's accurate. So again, this is all subjective. It's based on my opinions. You might have different opinions. You try different guns, and that's what I recommend for you. So thanks for watching another edition of Cranky Gun Reviews. God bless America. Support your 2A rights. Get out there and shoot. And you remember, if someone asks you to give up some of your freedom for the greater good, remind them that freedom is always the greater good.